Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Dungeon Fighter episode, this time focusing on my main character. I was actually going to do my Slayer first, but I can't remember exactly why I went to my fighter. Oh well. Anyway, this is Jaynix, my female fighter. She's my main character, and again, just like my gunner, she kind of superseded everybody that I created. Like originally I was going to go through the entire game first with my Slayer, my male Slayer, because he was the first character I made. But I chose a class I didn't actually like, so he wasn't that fun to play with, so I wound up bouncing around to other characters. With this one, obviously being the one I found most fun early on in my run of Dungeon Fighter. Way before I got off it for months and months and months. Came back to it recently. Anyway, Jaynix here has already awoken, and she actually has the ability to second awaken. So I can change her class one last time. The issue is it's really hard. More importantly, let's start with her class. She was obviously started as a female fighter, and I turned her into, I think, a brawler, I want to say. It's either a brawler or a striker, but I'm pretty sure it was a brawler. Which I believe are the characters, the fighters skilled in like underhanded, dirty fighting tactics. She throws sand and kicks sand in people's faces and poisons them and stuff like that. Then she awoke into what she is now, Hellcat, I believe. And they specialize. They're masters of poison and shit like that. So it's really cool. Like I have an ability called the Fly Poison, which is a side space ability. So I use it every single time I start a dungeon. So if you see, like, she does like a small pose and like an energy bar appears above her and goes ding. That's me activating Apply Poison at the start of every dungeon. Basically, her weapons are now have poison on them, so every hit poisons the enemies. So it's hilarious. I just murder everyone by hitting them like once and then standing there and waiting until the poison kills them. It's a lot of fun to do. But yeah, really awesome. She has a lot of great moves that I enjoy. She has one grab move, a suplex, which grabs the enemy and flips them over. Good time. Of course, it can't grab like stationary enemies or I think flying enemies either. They have like ground enemies of like a certain size, I think. Still fun. My favorite abilities of her are the net that she throws out. It grabs enemies and drags them in and then holds them still, so I can hit them with something else follow up right afterwards. Good times. And ground kick, which is this big kick that she does, and it throws like dust up at the end of it. It's like a single hit attack that does a shit ton of damage. That right there is her special ability, a poison cloud. And she throws it, and everything in that area is getting consistently hit by pretty intense poison. And I don't think it heals me while I'm in it, but it does something that makes me green and kind of like fade in and out, like the enemy can't actually see me. Something like that. I'm actually not entirely sure what that is, but it's a really cool move. I use it all the time. That said, it's really hard to use because it's a stationary attack. So like I jump and I throw the poison on the ground, and if the enemies for whatever reason move out of the area, then it was useless. Which a lot of bosses are real bitches about that. I use it on them, they walk out and they refuse to come back to me. They're too smart. I try to hit them with some attacks to throw them back into the fog. But it most of the time doesn't work, which really pisses me off. But when it does work, it works really well. So I kind of combine it with a net to hold them in place so I can throw the poison on them. Also, I was actually reading the story because this is the first time I was going through it. This here is Power Station, one of the last areas in the game. And I'll give you the down low on the story of this location since I did for the other two, and since why not. So, Power Station is a place that obviously is the source of power for, I believe, some sections of Empyrean, if not all of them. It's closely tied to Ghent and Bonhoeffer, two of the previous areas. Specifically, Bonhoeffer has a train that takes you here. So, that's how you get here. And there are 4 power plants at Power Station, and they've all been attacked by Apostle Anton and his crew, and they've all been subjugated, so you, as the dungeon fighter, are to go in and help Navarre and the other locals fight back and get the demons away from the power station, because they're like using their power, its power, to become stronger, if not outright invincible in some cases. So yeah, pretty rad, huh? Apostle Anton, I've not seen him yet. I don't even know if I'll actually fight him, but the apostles are like I think it's safe to say, the big bads in this series. They're all assholes. The first one you fought, to my knowledge, was Apostle Lotus at Behemoth. He was the final enemy of the Behemoth segment of the game, and this time I guess we're taking on Anton. As of now, like right now, I was just playing the game yesterday. I did clear all the 4 power stages and unlock the 5th one, which is the Dimensional Seal level. I have not tried it yet, and I actually do not have an Epic Quest, which Epic Quests are the ones that show up right under the map, and those are basically the story quests. Every time you complete one, you're given another one right away. I completed one, I don't have a new one. Either I need to do something to get the next one, or I just need to level up. It was probably just a level up. That said, wow, I spent the most time at level, I think, 82 that I ever did at any other level before. My sister, who was actually Cat 1 character at 86, told me that the climb from 85 to 86 is like the longest climb in the game. So, seeing how long 82 to 83 was, I can't imagine how long that is. But yeah, it takes some time to cap out your character, not surprisingly. But I'm very close, as you can see. Jaynix is my highest level character. She's almost there. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm disassembling items that I don't need, or that are otherwise useless. And disassembling gives you cubes and other assorted goodies. So, you know, I always prefer to do that as opposed to selling my items, because I actually get something more valuable out of it. The gold is useful, but only to an extent. So I don't know if you saw this, but my other characters are actually disassemblers, like as their profession. You can open up a disassembler shop and other people playing the game can see it and be like, oh, I need to disassemble something right now, and they can use it and pay you money or not to use your disassembler. The money that they pay is dependent entirely on you. You put the price of it up, you know, so that's the stores that you see around. So if I use a character who's just disassembler, then I can use them and disassemble my own items, you know? So I can upgrade my disassembler rank and, you know, get that done. But since Jaynix isn't one, I have to use other people, or it's the local one that actually belongs to the game server. Regardless, that's always my preferred method. Back to fighting in Power Station. Jaynix also has a move where she jumps really high into the air and like pounds her fist on the ground. I think that's called Seismic Crash. It's one of my favorite opening moves. Like if I see a squad of enemies, I'm gonna jump in there and just wreck them all. That move I just did with giant poison explosions, one of my favorites too. It's called Poison Mine. Jaynix throws out I think 5 mines and punches the ground multiple times to ignite each of them. They blow up in giant fountains of poison. Very fucking effective, very awesome move. One of my faves, that's for sure. You didn't see it right there, but she has a move that's also not in my hotbar called Hidden Stinger, where she like basically throws a very heavily poisoned needle and like buries it into the enemy. Does a bunch of damage and it's pretty intense poison. It's like, I think old Final Fantasy games identified it as poison and venom, where like poison, you know, you take occasional damage of like a normal amount, I guess, for being poisoned. I don't know what normal amount would be. And then venom is you take serious damage over time. And it's a lot more noticeable. You know, actually I think Tales of did that. Not old Final Fantasy games. Maybe old Final Fantasy games, but I definitely think Tales of did it. And venom is noticeably more deadly than poison. There goes Jungspin. I have a love-hate relationship with Jungspin. Basically, my character spins around and throws out a bunch of junk. I'm not even kidding you. That's literally what the move is. And you're stationary the whole time, so the enemies have to be around you to be hit by it. And that's what you're supposed to use it for. I think it also pins down enemies, if I'm not mistaken. Assuming that they're close enough to you. The most useful thing I could do is, my best boss strategy is to jump in the air. No, use the net to tie the boss in place, then do the poison cloud on top of the boss, and then do junk spin next to the boss to make sure that they're locked in that location, getting constantly beaten up. If they're a weak boss, that combo usually kills them. But none of the bosses in Power Station are weak. So, it does a good amount of damage, but does not kill them. What other moves does Jaynix have? She has a hook ability called Poison Hook, I think, or something like that, where she grabs one enemy, and then there's like a swirl of poison and it drags in all the other enemies close by, and then boom, and like poisons them all. It's basically an upgraded version of Explosive Hook, which I don't use, because Poisonous Hook is so much better. That said, I think Poisonous Hook is tied to Explosive Hook in the skill menu, so if you want to use Poison Hook, you need at least one level in Explosive Hook, which is how some abilities in the game work. They're tied to others. So if you want to use this ability or learn it, you need this ability. So that said, if you lower it to 1, which is what I did, you still save out those skill points for other more important abilities. Okay, I'm trying to look at her skill bar, see if there's anything I haven't talked about. Bricks. I can hit the enemy with bricks because I'm such a dirty fighter. I have a brick buster, which I literally pop them on the head with a brick, smash it against them. It actually dazes most enemies. And I believe I upgraded it so that when the brick shatters at the hit zone, like the bits will hit other nearby enemies. And I think it's called Brick Bomb, which I was on the fence about getting this ability for a long time, but it's actually a lot stronger than I thought it would be. But yeah, I basically like dig into the ground and pull out a giant brick that has a bunch of dynamite in it, and I punch it and it explodes a bunch of times and does a lot of damage to enemies close by. It's pretty awesome. You know, it does a lot more damage than I thought it did, but it has a pretty small area effect. So a lot smaller than actually. I still am not entirely good with it. So usually I get right in front of enemies to make sure that they get the full brunt of it. Not sure what the distance is, if there even is any. I don't know. Anyway, as of yesterday, I actually have 2 mercenaries now, which I don't think I covered that. But like I said, you can see the tab, my ally right there. I believe that's my gunner or my slayer. I'm not sure who it is. But when your characters hit level 50, I want to say, I think it's either 40 or 50. You can use them as a supporter to come in, do a single skill, and leave, which you see my other characters. When they get to 70, I think. Yeah, 70, they become mercenaries. And you can still call them in to help you, or you can send them out for 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours a day, or 2 days, I think. And these characters will then go adventuring on their own. You can still go into the game and use that character, but you can't go to any dungeons with that character. So just be aware of that when you send them out. And forever how long you send them out, where you send them out, after the time runs out, they'll come back with specific items. If anything, my sister said go by, they can sometimes come back with pretty good, useful items of some kind. I still have no clue. All I've gotten so far is like meteors and stuff. I'm not entirely sure, but I try. I sent out my other 2 out for 6 hours last night. They should have actually finished before I went to bed, but I think I forgot and just stopped. I was watching SpongeBob or something. Whatever. So that's cool. I have 2 mercenaries now. It's pretty awesome. I guess I want everyone to get consistently higher levels. It's a pretty rough task to do. Oh, Woo. I think it was Woo. Was it Woo? I don't even remember. Navarre is cool. When I originally saw him, I thought he was a douchebag because there's another character that you encounter in Bon Hoppen who I thought was kind of an asshole. I forgot his name. It's like Selwar Woon, I think. I think he was a gunner. I don't remember. But you encounter him on the train in that mission for something, and he's just a douche. I hate him. So I accidentally got him confused with Navarre, who's actually a really chill guy. So sorry, Navarre. My bad. Regardless, Jaynix is really awesome, but I've been trying to second awaken her into a Poison Master, I believe is the title of her final class, which I finally found out what it is. My sister kept like letting on hints to me that it was hard. I didn't, or at least frustrating. I didn't think it would be as hard and frustrating as it is. Basically, you have to go participate in something that's called a Black Dragon Tournament, which I think is 4 rounds against computer enemies, and these computer enemies are really fucking overpowered. Like seriously, the first time I participated, the first guy killed me 3 times, and the second one killed me the last 2 times. Because if you die 5 times, you're out of the tournament. You can't keep reviving. You're limited. But yeah, you have to beat 30 of these guys. Like every time you beat 1 guy in the Black Dragon tournament, you get a Black Dragon energy. You need 30 to second awaken. And if you complete the Black Dragon tournament, beat all 4 guys, you get an additional the Black Dragon energy. So ideally, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, you should only have to run through the Black Dragon tournament 6 times. But of course, that's not really the case when they're wiping you out so early on and you have to restart. I believe the game also limits you to 9 visits a day to the Black Dragon tournament, so if you only want to beat 1 guy, like I was considering, it will take you 4 days consistently of using up all your entries. Regardless, I'm pretty good. I think I have 15 of the 30 needed ones, so I'll be a second awakening soon. I'm considering recording my my last like few ones just to show off, you know, second awakening, yay! But I don't know, maybe. Who knows? Why not? It shouldn't be too hard to do it. I'll be the first character I second awaken, and I'll finally get the ability to do some new things, like that poison cloud that I use all the time. I actually can't level it up anymore. If I want to level it up another level, I need to second awaken first. So, you know, I totally want to second awaken just for that. But man, it's hard. So I believe there's still 2 more areas left after Power Station. I don't know what they are. I've never seen them. So I'm excited for that. I am done with Power Station. I just don't know if, like, why I don't have no story quests, but I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Anyway, that's a bunch of new info on Dungeon Fighter, and also getting to hang out with Jaynix, who is overpowered and awesome. So I hope you like that, and I hope you are going to cheer on for me in theory for Second Awakening, because I want it so bad. Someday, I mean one day, it'll happen. And that day is pretty damn soon. So I'm super hyped about that. Anyway, that's all I have to say in regards to this, and next time we'll be hanging out with the last of my 4 main characters, my female slayer, Trueblade Mia, who I spent the entire last time that I was playing this game playing with, like parts 11 to 20 were all about me playing through the beginning of the game with her to get her to level 31, I think. Good times. Anyway, until next time, Asa.